Hello, I'm Laura Effelbeck from the University of Wisconsin-Madison Foodwise program, and we are here today to read Little Red Riding Hood, but this is a twisted tale. It's not the original Little Red Riding Hood, but a slightly different version. Now, some of you might be familiar with my plate. Have you seen this icon before? The My Plate icon shows us that we should be eating half of our plate should be filled with fruits and vegetables, and we should be eating grains and protein and dairy as well. In this version of Little Red Riding Hood, we'll see more information about eating healthy foods and why that's important. So let's get started. Once upon a time, in a small village not too far from here, there lived a little country girl. She was the happiest and the healthiest girl in the land. Her mother was very fond of her, and her grandmother loved to spoil her even more. Do you have a grandmother who likes to spoil you? It's kind of nice. One birthday, her grandmother had a Little Red Riding Hood made just for her. It looked kind of like this one. See, it's a cape with a little hood. And it was special because it came from her grandmother. It suited that little girl so well that everybody from then on called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother said, "I'm worried about your grandmother. I hear she's been feeling very tired and weak. So I used my plate to help me choose some yummy foods to help her get healthy and strong again. Please take this basket. It has a turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread, fresh veggie sticks, orange slices, a small bowl of low-sodium chicken broth, and a refreshing ice-cold bottle of milk and one small piece of chocolate. This wonderful food should give her energy, and she'll be back on her feet in no time. Which of you would like to take a basket to help your grandmother when she's not feeling well?" A Little Red Riding Hood set out immediately to go visit her grandmother, who lived in another village several miles down the road. As she was walking through the woods, Little Red Riding Hood met a wolf. He had just finished eating a very unhealthy lunch, an entire cake, a bag of chips, a big bowl of ice cream, and an entire box of chocolate. The wolf asked, "Where are you going, little girl?" Little Red Riding Hood said to him, "I'm going to see my tired grandmother. She's weak and barely has strength to move. I'm bringing her some healthy food, including a turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread, fresh veggie sticks, orange slices, a small bowl of low-sodium chicken broth, a refreshing ice-cold bottle of milk, and one small piece of chocolate. And I'm hoping she'll regain her health." As Little Red Riding Hood described all of the healthy foods in her basket, the wolf's stomach felt queasy. For you see, wolves from this forest only like to eat junk food, sweet treats, and unhealthy people. This wolf did not like to eat any healthy foods or any strong and healthy people. However, when he heard Little Red Riding Hood mention her weak grandmother, he immediately decided that he would like to gobble grandmother up as a snack. So he said, "Does your grandmother live far from here, little girl?" Little Red Riding Hood said, "Oh, I'd say It's far. It's beyond that mill you see there at the end of the road. It's the first house in the village. Well, said the wolf, I shall go and see her too. Little Red Riding Hood feared that the wolf would reach her grandmother and gobble her up, so she dashed off in a hurry. What would that look like, that wolf? Which of you can look like a tired wolf chasing after Little Red Riding Hood? The wolf ran after her as fast as he could, but he could not keep up with Little Red Riding Hood, for you see, Little Red Riding Hood always made sure that half of her plate was full of fruits and vegetables. She also chose half of her grains to be whole grains based on the My Plate recommendations. Which of you chooses fruits and vegetables for your meals? It's a good idea. Little Red Riding Hood was physically active for 60 minutes a day. She rode her bike, she went for walks, she jumped rope. Which of you exercises 60 minutes a day? That's another good idea. Even though Little Red Riding Hood enjoyed occasional treats, as most children do, she was careful not to eat too many sweets. She was very healthy and she could run very fast. Who do you think got to Grandma's house first? The wolf could not run very fast. That wolf ate nothing but junk food, and he never exercised. In fact, that run to Grandma's house was the most exercise he had had in months. His tummy was filled with an entire cake, a bag of chips, a large bowl of ice cream, and a whole box of chocolates. He wasn't feeling very well. When he finally reached Grandmother's house, he knocked at the door. Which of you can make that sound? Let's pretend to knock at the door. When he finally reached the grandmother's house, he knocked at the door. Who is there? Asked the grandmother. Little Red Riding Hood's mother, said the wolf, imitating what he thought Little Red Riding Hood's mother's voice would sound like. I brought you some sweet treats to make you feel better. I have a cake and a bag of chips and a bowl of ice cream and a box of chocolates. Just then the front door swung open. The grandmother, who always ate healthy food, was strong and fast. She was able to grab that wolf. She was so strong and so healthy, and he was so slow that she was able to tie a leash right around his neck. The wolf cried out, How did you know that I wasn't Little Red Riding Hood's mother? Grandmother replied, Well, everyone in my family is healthy, and no one but a wolf would bring me all those sweets, especially when I'm sick. After the grandmother captured the wolf, she felt kind of sorry for him. She could see he was very unhealthy. She decided to keep him as a pet, and she named him Fido. Which of you would have kept him as a pet? Together, Grandmother and Fido used My Plate to help them choose a variety of healthy foods that would give them energy. Even though the wolf thought he only liked unhealthy foods, after tasting all kinds of fruits and vegetables like pears and apples and oranges and carrots, he decided he actually liked them. Now, Grandmother is sure that they both eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, and they take nice long walks in the woods every day. Occasionally, they do have a few treats together, but they're very careful not to eat too much or to eat an oversized portion. Now, whenever Little Red Riding Hood comes to visit, she exclaims, "Why, Fido, what big muscles you have!" And Fido says, "That's because your grandmother and I exercise for 60 minutes every day." And Little Red says, "Why, Fido, what big white teeth you've got!" And Fido says, "That's because I brush and floss twice a day, and I drink milk so my teeth and bones are strong." And Little Red says, "Why, Fido, what sharp eyes and a beautiful coat you have." And Fido says, "That's because I follow the My Plate recommendations and make sure that half my plate is filled with fruits and vegetables at every meal." And they all lived happily and healthfully together forever. Now, which of you are going to have some fruits and vegetables with your meal today? Maybe a pear, maybe an apple, maybe you like grapes. I'll bet you can choose a fruit or a vegetable to eat every meal you have. So for breakfast, what kinds of fruits do you like to have with breakfast? Maybe you put a banana or some raisins in your cereal. What about lunch? Maybe that's when you'd like some cucumbers with dip. Or maybe you really like lettuce, and lettuce is a wonderful vegetable. So think about that. Think about making half of your plate fruits and vegetables so you can feel healthy and energetic, just like Granny, Little Red Riding Hood, and of course now Fido.